You're very welcome to this month's Eva's Echo video blog. My name is Rena and I'm going to be going through my top 5 acting tips for complete beginners. As well as being a theatre maker and performer, I'm also a drama teacher and have been for over 10 years now. So I'm basing this list off of the difficulties that my students have encountered or some bad habits that I've seen pop up fairly consistently. So let's dive straight in. Number 1, projection. Projection is a very difficult but important skill that is gained over time. Once an actor has mastered this skill, they don't even notice that they're doing it. But it's totally normal for those who are new to acting to find it difficult to change their volume based on their character's circumstance or so that the audience can hear them clearly. I find this is because new actors are trying to act as natural as possible. When they're having a conversation in character, it feels unnatural to project rather than talk at a normal volume. But again, this is something that is fixed with practice and repetition. You can also do several acting exercises and vocal warm-ups that will help you distinguish between different volumes, and then you can bring that into your performances. Number 2, blocking. Blocking is another important skill that becomes second nature over time, but feels so unnatural to those just beginning acting. Blocking is important so that the audience can see you at all times clearly, so that they don't miss a character's expression or change in physicality that will tell them more about the character and the story. So, for example, when on stage and having a conversation with another character, it could feel natural to turn around fully and face the other character. But you're not really able to see my face. So in the theatre, we cheat this a bit so that you're actually facing this way. That way, it seems like I'm sitting and having a natural conversation, but you can still see me. On screen, this is done a bit differently. Actors often have to stand much closer together than would feel natural for both actors to physically fit in the shot. There's a very good example of this in the book Secrets of Screen Acting. For example, this is how the two actors stand to get the shot, which when you see the full frame seems very unnatural. This would be how you would imagine that they're standing, but it wouldn't work on film. Number 3, expression. I've come across this situation so many times when an actor who's just starting out is so passionate about their play or their script. They're passionate about the character. They really feel like they're going through all of the emotions that character is going on their journey. But they're not showing us that. It can be very difficult for those beginning acting to truly show the emotions of their character, even though they're feeling them, often because they're afraid of exaggerating or their performance not feeling or looking natural. But as an audience member who's far back in the theatre, or someone who's looking really close up on a screen, we need to see those emotions displayed to fully connect. It's brilliant to feel your character's emotions, but as an actor, it's your challenge to show them. One thing that I suggest to help actors with this is to watch any great actor's performance, but press mute on your television. And then you will see how many times that subtle performance changes, how many different expressions that great actor goes through in a millisecond. And it's because of their skill that you're totally swept up and it feels completely natural. But when you mute it, you can really see the skill that goes behind that performance. Number 4, dressing the part. This tip is probably the most practical and sounds the most obvious, but it is something that I've ran into consistently throughout my career, either in the rehearsal room or as a teacher. It's also a mistake that I've made myself several times, especially in my younger years. Dressing appropriately for the rehearsal room or the classroom is going to heighten your performance and give you the ability to be completely creative and open and free. The things that are a no-go in my classroom are high heels, jewelry that makes noise, skirts, any type of restricting clothing. The ideal outfit for a classroom or a rehearsal room is something that you can move completely freely in and that won't distract you or others. It's a very simple tip, but being able to move completely freely is going to open your character's physicality up to so many opportunities that they wouldn't if your physicality was restricted. Number 5. Our final tip, I believe, is the most important. Not just for those beginning acting, but for all of us, no matter where we are on our acting journey. Don't be afraid to fail. It can be so difficult for new actors to come into an unfamiliar space and be asked to jump out of their comfort zone and feel a bit silly. But please don't worry about being silly in a rehearsal room or in a classroom, because everybody there is on the same page. Everybody there is going towards the same goal, and if you look silly, everybody's looking silly together. I hope that you enjoyed my top 5 acting tips for complete beginners. I'd also like to recommend some reading for those who are new to acting. If you're interested in theatre acting, I could not recommend more highly The Art of Acting by Stella Adler. This is a book that I have gone back and back and back to throughout my career. Sometimes I look at different exercises differently. It's always something new and I always make new discoveries every time I open it up. If you're interested in acting for the screen, this book, Secrets of Screen Acting, which I already brought up in one of my tips, is such a practical and straightforward guide. I could not recommend it more highly. I'd also recommend just getting your hands on as many plays and as many scripts as possible. And understanding how to analyze text is going to help you so much when it comes to developing and creating characters. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd like to take the opportunity at the end of this video to make a very special announcement that me and Hazel are both super excited about. As you may know, we've been unable to produce theatre because of COVID-19, and we've used this time to start a new adventure. I'd like to announce Echo Acting, professional acting training for adults in Athlone and Galway. Our first classes are going to begin in September in both Galway and Athlone, and you can find all of the details in the link below. You can also find the full written version of this blog at our website evasecho.com. Thank you so much for watching. See you next month.